everyone. Welcome to the Untap podcast, episode number 4. It is officially the early access time for Call Time, so we're enjoying playing that. I'm Jonny Esports. I'm joined by JT. How you doing, my dude?
I'm doing great, Johnny. It's having a great day here at the Jankyard, and we've got the Brewers cap on these days with Call Time, so we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So topics for today, of course, we got another game JT's going to play for me. We're going to see if I can figure out who's that Planeswalker once again. And then, basically, yeah, we're going to talk about brews is normally what we talk about, and then Kaldheim previews. But basically, that's going to be merged into one because we got early access to Kaldheim, and we'll go over that while we're playing, or at least what we're brewing while we save up wild cards, and then go from there.
Yes, yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about some fun decks.
For sure. But let's start with the game. You got a challenge for me. Why don't you introduce us, JT?
All right, who's that Planeswalker? All right, I'm excited. So I have so the way this works, folks, is I color shift one of the color symbols on a Planeswalker card. Then I will read off the loyalty abilities. There are 3 loyalty abilities on my chosen walker. I will go from the highest all the way down to the lowest. And if at that point Johnny has still not been able to guess which walker, then I will give him the set.
Yes.
You get 5 points on the first clue, 3 on the second, 2 on the third, and 1 with the set clue.
Yeah, so far in total, maybe we should keep track of points. I have 1 point since we started playing this game. So
and
I'll try to keep track
playing the game Johnny gives for me, I have 0 points. Okay, so this walker is 3 generic and 1 blue and 1 white.
Okay.
The first loyalty ability, +1. Scry 1, then draw a card.
Okay, so that screams, is it? But that's so generic. that I have.
That's partially why I chose it.
Yeah, that's super generic. Yeah, I don't have a clue right now.
Okay, next clue. Loyalty ability -2. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention it has a starting loyalty total of 5
okay.
points. -2. Return target creature to its owner's hand.
Okay. So this just sounds blue-white, but apparently one of the colors is shifted, so I don't know. Because it's like almost Teferi, but not quite so far.
Yes. It does sound kind of Teferi.
Yeah, it's just literally doing slightly worse than what Teferi does for all these. Yeah, I don't know still, man. You got to give me another.
All right. The third loyalty ability, -8. You get an emblem with whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, counter that spell.
Okay, so now I'm just thinking this is actually just mono blue. And I'm going to go with... It sounds like a Jace. Am I anywhere in the ballpark?
Is that what you're going with?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
It is a Jace. Yeah.
It is a Jace? Okay. I don't know the specific Jace. But I'm just going to say Architect of Thought. Just throwing it out there. Okay.
Well, and the set is Shadows over Innistrad.
Okay.
It's Jace Unraveler Secrets.
Unraveler
I'll give it to you. You got it as a Jace.
Okay.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It's 3 in double blue. So I took a monocolored walker and flipped one.
Yeah, that's tricky because I'm naturally going to think it's 2 colors. And then, boom, you got me there. So I'll take it. I'll take the point. 2 points, I guess.
A couple points there. Well done.
We'll take it, folks. Let us know in the comments below if you got it well before I did, or if, you're smarter, or if, heck, you didn't get it before I did. Then I win the game, I guess.
We want to know that we're smarter than somebody.
That's all I actually ever want to know. I'm smarter than someone. All right, so let's go to our next section. Normally we just talk about what we're playing this week, but obviously it's kind of that early access time for Kaldheim, so we got some new brews going on, and then usually we talk about a news story too after that, but we're kind of just going to merge those sections together into this so I guess a couple deck techs that we can do for the folks at home of what we're playing or what we're at least brewing. 'Cause like I said, I got to save up some wild cards to get this going. So let's start with you, JT. You were in like the whole streamer creator early access thing. So you got this a day earlier even. What were you playing?
So yeah, I got to play several fun decks on that day. We streamed for about 10 hours, and it was an awesome time. And so I played about 4 or 5 different decks. I want to talk about one here that I have yet to play on ranked, and maybe I should, but it's completely insane. I decided to just take one of all the sanctums, except for the Sanctum of All. I put 2 of that in, and then a whole bunch of sagas, especially the new sagas. So it's sagas and sanctums, and then 3 Lotus Cobra or 4 Lotus Cobra.
That's awesome.
So yeah, like one of's Battle for Bredegard, Battle of Frost and Fire, Elspeth Conquers Death, Furia's Retribution, Curibus the Sea God. What else we got here? The Akron War, the Bears of Litiara, the Blood Sky Massacre, the Raven's Warning, Timmerick Calls the Dead, Waking the Trolls.
Oh my gosh!
And then you've got a couple Shadow the Sky, 3 Extinction events, 1 each of the colored sanctums, and 2 Sanctum of All to put it all together. It actually worked a couple times.
It actually worked a couple times.
This deck is shockingly weird, but I mean, it almost plays like a brawl deck because there's so many 1-ups.
Yeah, exactly. That's wild, dude.
But yeah, that I had a lot of fun with that one. So that's the first one I wanted to mention, because if you want to just do something really stupid, do sagas and sanctums.
Yeah, it's awesome. We got so many good, cool sagas coming up too. Like the saga.deck certainly could be a thing, especially if you kind of jump over into historic too as well. So yeah, interesting stuff, my dude.
All right, do you want to get into one?
Yeah, I'll go to mine, and we're going to try to bring them back into historic, back into relevancy. Arclight Phoenix. I want to play this card again. I keep getting smashed doing it. Is it? So guess where we're going? We're going mono red. And know why we're going there? Because we got some busted snow cards. So it's mono red snow Phoenix is what I got. Bring it out. And if you tuned in last week, you know what card I got really excited about. It's Bergie, God of Storytelling. Can Bergie bring back Arclight Phoenix to the top of the meta? Probably not, but we're trying it anyway. Creatures in this deck, already alluded to Arclight Phoenix and Bergie. We also got Runaway Steamkin, because that is going to generate a bunch of mana spells. We're going to cast a lot of spells. It'll be a 4/4 real quick. And then we got Toralf, God of Fury, which might be a little bit cute in this deck. I'm not going to lie, but we're going to try it out and see what happens. And just in case you don't know, Toralf, God of Fury reads, it's a legendary creature god for 4, 2 colorless, 2 red for a 5/4. It's got trample. So good stats. 5/4 trample. Sweet for 4. But also, whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, Toralf deals damage equal to the excess to any target other than that permanent. So, why are we playing that, folks? Because we have 26 instants and sorceries that do damage to creatures or planeswalkers. Let's start with the instants. We got Demon Bolt. We got Dual Strike. We got Frostbite and Shock. Going over a couple of them quickly. Demon Bolt's fun. It's 4 damage target creature, planeswalker, 4/3, or you can foretell it, and it only costs 1 when you do so. So you can kind of get that prepped if the guy hasn't played any creatures yet. You have Frostbite. It deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you control 3 or more snow permanents, it deals 3 damage instead. And of course, with 18 snow-covered mountains in this deck, should not be a problem. We have Dual Strike, which is a Arclight Phoenix enabler. Whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 4 or less this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Also has a foretell cost of 1 red. So
and it counts the copy when you're trying to get to 3 for the Phoenix.
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah, because copy is not cast, unfortunately.
No, okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so but it just like helps with these foretell costs where I can foretell them for one. Just helps for their one single mono red. And I didn't go over Bergie because I kind of just got excited of it. But basically, again, if you don't know what Bergie does, as we backtrack a little bit back to my creatures, whenever you cast a spell, you add red. It has some other text on it. But
does?
In theory it has other text on it. But long story short, these can end up kind of being free, these two foretell cards, and then that helps you, of course, bring out Arclight Phoenix, so that's pretty nice. The sorceries in this deck are light up the stage just for the card advantage. You got Tundra Fumarole. It deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. You add a colorless mana for each snow spent to cast a spell. Obviously, you'll only spend snow, with the exception of the mana you use from Bergie, so pay attention to that. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end, so that's just good, more extra damage you're going to do to creatures of the planeswalker. And I like this change lately from Magic and Wizards in general, where they're making a creature a planeswalker, which is really nice because when it's just creature, if you go up against a control deck, you probably just lose because they probably just win with planeswalkers and they don't play any creatures. This still gives you some control over those planeswalkers. Yeah, it's not any target, which obviously would be like the absolute premium, but Toralf helps you kind of get over that a little bit because you do X damage to that planeswalker, you'll still hit guy's face. And of course, you're hoping to win here with Arclight Phoenixes and Runaway Steamkins as well. And that's basically the deck. You're just playing a little mono red control kind of if they're an aggro deck, making sure to clear the board. If not, you're just trying to cast some spells, bust out a Phoenix, bust out a Bergie, and see how that goes. So it could be fun.
And I mean that Bergie or Runaway Steamkin is quite the wombo combo.
Oh yeah, for sure. You get these two out, you're just gonna be able to just slam spells for free, essentially. Again, with the foretell costs of Dual Strike and Demon Bolt, or just shocks, right? You just kind of get this Runaway Steamkin up to 4 real quick. You can burn through the mana. In the maybe board out of this deck is Experimental Frenzy, because of course Experimental Frenzy works super, super well with Runaway Steamkin, especially if you're producing a bunch of free mana. You might just be able to churn through your deck really, really well. So that takes some play testing. Like maybe the Finale of Promises get replaced by Experimental Frenzy, or Toralf maybe is slightly too cute. Maybe you shave a Toralf or 2 and then add some that way. Yeah, this is all
frenzies. The frenzy's a really spicy ad.
Yeah, it could be really, really cool. It's just a question of like whether I want that or Finale of Promise. I don't know yet. This is one of those decks too, of course, that I'm saving up some wild cards. So I don't have enough to get all this stuff. Although most of the instances of sorceries is uncommon and common. You just have like, I need to get the Tundra Fumaroles and the Bergies. I only have 1 in there, and the Toralfs. So that's the only kind of things that I need to kind of like get from the new set. So it's not too much, but I think I'll like those cards anyway. It's one of those things like, even if this deck doesn't work out, some combination of Tundra Fumarole, Toralf, Bergie is going to be a good deck. So I don't mind spending wild cards, even if this isn't the exact deck that ends up being the quote-unquote meta deck or whatever is the best deck for these cards.
Yeah, I definitely think they'll all be worthwhile getting.
Yeah, for sure. What else you got going for us, JT?
So speaking of Bergie, let's dance over to Standard.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to climb up the ladder. Looks like as we record this, it's the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like I'm going to flame out around 89-90% on Mythic. But I did get myself up a bit Standard, building a mono-red Bergie deck.
Nice.
So I will say I played against a Bergie deck in Historic Ranked, where I'm still rocking the butts that have now added the Big Ox. And I played against a Bergie deck in Historic, and I just realized, watching this person just play 1 mana spell, 1 mana spell, 1 mana spell, 1 mana spell, and just not exhausting this reservoir of red mana because of Bergie. So I put together this deck for Standard. It has got a ton of 1 mana spells and hasty creatures. That's mainly what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So creature-wise, we've got 4 Fervent Champions.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 3 Ginger Brutes.
Nice.
We've got 4 Burgies, 4 Bolt Hounds, and 4 Robber of the Rich. And then for our other, especially 1 mana spells, we've got 4 Infuriates, 4 Crash Throughs. And creature-wise, I forgot to mention Akum Hellhound.
Yeah.
And then the big finishers are, you've got 2 Torbrands
Mm-hmm.
and 3 Embercleaves.
Nice.
So, and we're running 19 Mountains and 3 Castle Embers. And I gotta tell you, there's times that I've been flooded a lot. It feels like at times. Mana is never an issue. Maybe I go down to 21.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a lot of fun, and sometimes it runs out of gas, right?
Yeah.
The only thing you've got for card draw there is the Crash Throughs. But other times, especially you get Burgie down and play an Infuriate, play a Shock.
Mm-hmm.
It can go pretty quickly. So I'm excited to keep trying the Big Bad Burgie deck and see how she fares.
Yeah, Burgie, I feel like is gonna make a big splash, and I'm happy that I at least got one open in a pack. I'm excited too. I got the we're not just arena players. I got the pre-release pack for this. Of course, you can't play them in stores right now, but you can pick up pre-release packs from your LGS if you got one. And I got one from one of mine, and I'm excited to play tomorrow, or actually no, later today. I'm gonna play over webcams with some friends there, so I'll hopefully open a few more of those too, because I think those will be good for a while.
Yeah, I did open a pre-release kit as well. I just opened it for funsies.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing I got of it was the special art Sarulf Realm Eater.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a sexy looking card.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I saw the cutest post, like wholesome post, where someone posted, "Hey, I opened my pack and I got this Vorinclex that's in a different language. Is that supposed to happen?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, that's the Phyrexian language one. You just won the jackpot."
Yeah, how much is that thing going for?
I don't know off the top of my head, but that's like that's for me like the chase. Like, oh man, I just kind of want one, man, because you just know that the last Phyrexian card they did went nuts in Phyrexian language there.
I haven't seen that before, because my guess is that happened a few years ago, probably before I played.
Yeah. So it was pretty awesome. So like it's cool that they're doing that again for folks, and it'll be fun to see kind of see if they do that more often, because obviously it loses some prestige when you do it too often, but it's still pretty cool, and I like that. I like it a lot.
Yeah, the Vorinclex Monstrous Raider in Phyrexian is listed on Goldfish at $95.
Yeah. So
yeah, that US. That is the jackpot.
That is a good one to open. But yeah, that was a super wholesome post. Someone's like, "Oh, I got this other language card. What's going on here?"
No, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. All right, I have only kind of brewed the one deck as it stands today. Do you have any more for us?
Well, yeah, I've got one more deck, but then I also want to talk about a deck I've encountered.
Okay, yeah.
Let's first I'll go over another deck from the early access that I really enjoyed was Temur v Giants.
Yeah.
Put together Temur Giants deck, which really worked well. And it so stuff like Beanstalk Giant, Bone Crusher Giant, Calamity Bear.
Yep.
Oh wow, that thing's good. Just a couple Cyclone Summoners, a couple Doomscar Titans, a couple Quake Bringers, a couple Tectonic Giants.
Yep.
If you've got the Calamity Bearer out, which does double damage, and you've got Tectonic Giant, it's like, okay, I'm going to attack you and do 6 damage to you.
Yep.
And then one Thrix. And plus, besides that, we've got a couple Invasion of the Giants, 3 Battle of Frost and Fire, 4 Cultivates.
Mm-hmm.
I put in 1 Glimpse the Cosmos just to use it. It was okay. But also a couple of Squash, because you can do 6 damage to something, usually for 2 mana.
That's wild. This is standard, right?
Yeah, this is a standard deck, and then you've got all the pathways and some Fable Passages and basics, and yeah, very fun deck to play. Predominantly red, but just a silly deck. So try the Giants. I recommend them. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah. I brewed the deck too a little while ago for historic. The difference is being able to add Llanowar Elves and Growth Spiral into there just for a little bit quicker ramp. I like the idea of putting Realm Walker in there too, because it's just that card advantage engine that's potentially there. You obviously just make it a giant because it's a changeling, so it does that. In case you don't know, Realm Walker is a changeling. It is 3 mana, 2 colors, 1 green for a 2/3. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. So you choose giants. You may look at the top card of your library. You may cast creature spells of the chosen type from the top of your library. Seems like a good card advantage engine specifically for this. The one sort of criticism of Realm Walker for most tribal decks is that most tribal decks are really low to the ground, and you just kind of want to dump your hand before everything kind of happens, and you just kind of want to alpha strike for that. Giants is a slower tribe, so I feel like Realm Walker works really well for it because you are going to be kind of dropping those 4-drop, 5-drop giants, and if you can kind of and if they get rid of something that you spent so much mana on later in the game, that can be backbreaking. But if you have Realm Walker out, you might be able to just keep putting a new giant every turn, which could be awesome.
I would say I didn't really think of Realm Walker. Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, I think it would absolutely fit nicely into the Giants deck.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really, really good, especially since you're splashing into that green for that, and of course you have Uro and stuff. So
in historic you could use the Uro.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to talk about. So I've encountered this deck both in historic and in standard. But I've also encountered a lot of comments on Facebook and elsewhere of people going, ban this. The cards or deck in question is Tormod's Crypt or Stonecoil Serpent on turn 2, counter it with Tibalt's Trickery, and then with Tibalt's Trickery pull up something disgusting like Ugin in standard, and I did get Ulamogged in historic.
Which is wild. And then there's, of course, the modern version where you cascade, and then you will guaranteed get to your Tibalt's Trickery, and then you just counter your cascade card, and then hopefully you drop freaking anything after that.
Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting.
So it's been interesting watching people just go back and forth because some people are like, oh, this has to be banned. Other people are like, it's a glass cannon.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think let's see how it goes. I want to play it. I want to build, but I don't want to build like Ugin, or I'll be honest, I don't like playing Ugin. To me, it's too busted.
Yeah.
And maybe that's silly. And I have played Ugin. I'm not going to sit here and say I've never played him. But, and same with Ulamog, I've played him. But, I'm going to decide what to do, but I'm going to put in some big crazy stuff of all colors.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we just play all the ultimatums. Do something silly like that. So I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to try something, but yeah, sometimes you're going to hit another Stonecoil or a Tormod's Crypt or another Tibalt's Trickery. So it is a glass cannon. I can see, but I certainly see why people are,
Okay, hear me out. We go back to your True Fire Captain deck. We get that in there because you counter your own card into Star of Extinction and it's your True Fire Captain and call it a day. Something like that. There's some fun in there.
Oh.
now I got you thinking. I got your brain spinning.
Oh, okay. This wouldn't be a turn 2 like some people like to do, but this would be. Oh, it has to be a different name. Okay, so it would skip past the Tormod's Crypts and the Stonecoils, but Johnny, you're an evil genius.
Yeah. Some might say. Some might say. It's no, not. Is it brain, man? We're always experimenting.
Yes, I definitely. For those that are not familiar, I've got a deck that uses True Fire Captain, Brash Taunter, and Stormwild Caprador, and just drop Star of Extinction and do 20 damage. With Tibalt's Trickery, that would be hilarious.
And what's kind of nice is that the Tibalt's Trickery, if you need it, if the opponent's about to play I win the game card, it is still technically a counter you use on an opponent. And yeah, maybe they get something else, but like if it's gonna counter the they win the game card, you at least counter that and then still have a chance in the game.
And I wonder when WotC made this, that's what they were thinking, that people can use it to get great stuff out for themselves, or they could use it against their opponent. And most of the people are just like, oh no, I'm gonna get Ugo on turn 2. That's all.
To me, it seems very, very silly that they didn't say counter target opponent spell. Just for this reason, and I think this is fun. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not on the hey ban this thing bandwagon, maybe yet, but it's still like it does seem like you're playing with fire, pun intended, I guess, for red, when you make it that you can counter your own spells with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably knew what they were doing. They had to realize that this was going to mean turn 2 Ugins. But I think there's also merit to the argument that it's just not always going to happen.
Yeah.
And the other risk, of course, is you can't start without having the 0 mana spell and the Tibalt's Trickery in your opening hand.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people mull down to 4. I have seen people just like mull, quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't find them. Mm-hmm. So that does make it a little risky. I like the idea of using it, but using it a little deeper in the game. Don't worry about the turn 2 shenaniganery.
Yeah.
But use the Trickery later to just do massive damage to like a Stormwild Caprador or a Brash Taunter. That sounds sexy. I like that.
Yeah, those are all potentially fun things. All right, do you have any other decks or any other cards you want to talk about, JT?
I think we're good for now. But I'm still building. I know you're still building too, and we've got another week. So when we're back next week, I think we'll both probably have some other cool stuff to dive into.
For sure, definitely, and we'll see what news are kind of going around in the world of Magic by then. But that will end the podcast for the day, folks. I'm going to give a quick shout out to Meta Break Apparel, which is an apparel line I started. You can check it out in the links below, or go to retouchmedia.com/metabreak. Got shirts, sweaters, masks for you if you need that. And it just helps kind of just support me and the things I do for design and editing and doing stuff like this podcast. And JT, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me at the Jankyard. You can check us out on at JankyardM on Twitter, or the Jankyard on Facebook, and also our website, jankyardmtg.com. We stream twice a week on Twitch at twitch.tv/jankyardmtg. That we stream Thursdays and Sundays doing tournaments. We also have other periodic streams. So check us out. Check out our tournaments at MTG Melee. We've also got our Winter League coming up soon. So we're still asking people to sign up for that. You can find that at mtgmelee.com.
All right, that wraps up episode 4 here of the Untap podcast. If you enjoyed any of this, do consider hitting like button and subscribing to the channel, because we're just going to keep doing this and keep chatting for as long as we feel like doing it. And if you want to join along for the ride, that would be excellent. We'll see you all next time, folks. Have fun brewing some Call Time decks, and we'll see you next time.